Okay, Torah concept New Testament, arm yourself with the mind to suffer for Christ. Okay, so in 1 Peter 4:1, it teaches that disciples of Yeshua must deliberately adopt a mindset prepared to endure suffering, just as Yeshua had suffered in the flesh. The Torah provides foundational patterns showing that covenant faithfulness often requires readiness to endure hardship, obedience under pressure, and steadfast in the face of testing. So the Torah parallels: 1, Genesis 22. Abraham is tested and must be mentally prepared to obey God at great personal cost, the cost of his son, right? And that shows covenant loyalty and requires a resolved mind. Exodus chapter 5. Israel's obedience to God initially increased their suffering under Pharaoh, demonstrating that following God can bring hardship that must be endured with steadfastness, trusting in the Lord. And 3, Exodus 14, Israel must stand firm at the Red Sea despite fear and danger, revealing that faith requires mental readiness to face suffering and uncertainty. 4, Deuteronomy 8, God leads Israel through the wilderness to humble and test them, teaching and suffering forms and proves covenant faithfulness. 5, Deuteronomy 20, Israel is commanded not to fear battle because God is with them, showing that they must arm their minds with courage before entering hardship. And in 6, Deuteronomy 31, Israel and Joshua are commanded to be strong and courageous, a mental preparation for the trials ahead. And 7, Numbers 14, Joshua and Caleb urge Israel not to fear the giants in the land, demonstrating a mindset prepared to endure difficulty for the sake of obedience. Okay, so the context here is that Peter calls believers to adopt the same mindset Yeshua displayed, one that accepts suffering as a part of obedience and refuses to retreat from righteousness. The Torah repeatedly shows that God's people must prepare their hearts and minds to endure testing, hardship, and opposition as part of the covenant faithfulness. From Abraham's test to Israel's wilderness trials and the commands to be strong and courageous, the Torah establishes that obedience often requires a deliberate readiness to suffer. And Peter builds on this foundation. So the core insight here is that the Torah has transformed a participation in the Torah teaches that covenant faithfulness requires a mind prepared for testing and hardship and endurance. Peter applies the same principle to life in Yeshua, being disciples of Yeshua, walking in his footsteps and being shaped by his likeness. This is how we do that. And it's according to Torah. Again, this is how Peter taught Torah in the New Testament. The Torah has not passed away.